What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another underwater lure test and review. Today we're going to be looking at minnows again. If you guys like videos like this, make sure you leave a like and subscribe, and leave a comment down below which one you think is the best. So for starters, we're going to be looking at one of the most popular baits right now, the Crush City Mooch Minnow by Rapala, which has been winning a ton of money on the Bass Pro Tour. The second one we're going to be looking at is the Crush City Freeloader, which has also been winning a ton of money. It was probably the original minnow that they're well known for, Crush City is. They're both very good minnows. One of the OG kind of moping Damiki rigs baits is the Missile Baits Spunk Shad, the Missile Bait Spunk Shad, which is in collaboration with Hog Farmer, which is very similar to this Stroll Shad by Hog Farmer. They have the exact same tail. I don't know if you can see that there. Same tail design. Another one we've got is the Prop Duster by NetBait, which is very similar to the Mooch Minnow, so it's kind of like their imitation of that. You can see those tails are very similar. We've also got the Keitech Shad Impact, which is an interesting bait. It's got a lot of action in the tail. It's going to be the same plastic that you get in a Keitech swim bait normally, but it's just with a straight tail. It's essentially the Easy Shiner mold with a straight tail instead of a paddle tail. This is a new one that I saw, the Winged Needle Shad from Three Brothers Baits, which is a newer company as far as I am aware. They actually have a dice as well that you probably saw in the last video. It's got wings, obviously, like the Sakamata Shad or the Winged Fluke, which should help it stay level. And lastly, we're gonna have the Black Label High Roller, which is a bait designed by Cliff Pace in his company, the Elite Series Pro Cliff Pace. All right, now we're gonna get into the underwater test, and we just throw all 8 of these baits under there and get a good idea of what they look like. So we just wrapped up throwing these baits underwater. What I noticed was that they definitely had a mix of different actions. What was interesting with these two, with the different tail shapes that are like not a straight tail, it's got the little, I don't know what you would call it, like a T-shaped at the end, made it swim like a little tiny swim bait. So it's very good for straight reeling. It has a very subtle tail action. The high roller was unique. It's your more typical style of tail. The only bait that I have of this selection that had a split tail. It actually has like a cotton candy scent, which I thought was unique, and I don't know how that works in terms of getting the fish fired up, but then again, most of the scents you put on baits are kind of weird, like garlic. There's nothing that smells like garlic out in the water. The Spunk Shad definitely had nice action with that tail. Very similar to the Stroll Shad. As you can see, they've got a basically similar body plane. You just get a little bit longer of a tail, a little bit thinner of a tail on the Stroll Shad. Now we've got the Keitech Shad Impact. It definitely does the job. Nothing crazy special, but then again, it's not supposed to be based on the design. It's a sleek bait fish imitator with a straight tail again. It has a lot of action with the tail, and that's I think what it's really relying on, not necessarily the roll. You don't have the deeper sides that you would get with something like these two, which lets them roll a little bit more. And obviously this is basically kind of a direct copy of the Freeloader, the Three Brothers Baits winged needle shed. The only difference really is that it's got the wings. But that deeper body definitely helped it roll a lot better. And I put 3/0 hooks on these two, and all the rest had a 1/0 hook. You could go up and a little bit higher for these two if you really wanted to. Yeah, these baits are essentially the same. The only thing that I will say is this has a little bit softer of plastic, so it has a little bit more action, the Crush City bait. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that. I thought it was very cool to see some of these baits underwater, especially with how similar a lot of these minnow baits get. You can have baits that look almost exactly the same, but have very different actions because of their plastic contents and maybe just a little bit of a different wing on it. So if you guys enjoyed, make sure you guys leave a comment, a like, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.